Hi, I'm Paul Secor, the Executive Director of the American Society for Gravitational and Space Research, and we are really excited to be launching our 2022 conference in Houston, Texas this year in November. And one of our gold level sponsors is Leidos, and Leidos has been a longtime supporter of ASGSR, and today we have with us Alan Nordheim. Alan, thank you for joining us. Glad you could be here.
Oh no, I enjoy being here. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. So I see the Leidos logo all over the place. When I go to the airport, I see it. I see it at
Yes,
space
that's us.
centers. Tell us about the company and what you guys all do.
Okay. So Leidos is a Fortune 500 company. We're primarily a government services company, and we're with a focus on technology, engineering, and science solutions. And we address challenges for defense, intelligence, civil, and health markets. The company's about 44,000 employees worldwide. We're headquarters in Reston, Virginia, for those of you on the East Coast. And as a corporation, we had annual revenues of just shy of $14 billion. So we're one of those companies that are you don't always hear about, but like I said, we are a very large company, but we have the feel and reaction time of a much smaller company. So we're 90% domestic in the United States. So we're in the US market, coast to coast. We have things in Alaska and Hawaii as well. We are in about 10% of our work is international.
Okay.
So we have work in about 125 different countries and US territories. And our work on the company is kind of broken into 5 business areas, if you will. So we have a defense group. They're very big into artificial intelligence and machine learning, cloud, cybersecurity, data analytics solutions for the DoD. That includes the Air Force, Navy, and the Army. And they also support DARPA, which is the military research branch of the Department of Defense. We have our Dynetics. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of Leidos. And that's where we do our applied research and technology accelerator for the company, if you will.
Okay.
And they're great at rapid prototyping and manufacturing, and they support both the Air Force, Army, Navy, NASA, and the intelligence community. We have a health group. They provide secure, holistic healthcare solutions for federal agencies with a focus on electronic medical record, biomedical research, medical research management, warfighter readiness. So they support the Defense Health Agency, Veterans Affairs, Health and Human Services. We actually run the National Cancer Research Center in Fredericks, Maryland. It's an FFRDC, and then they support the DoD in many fashions, but they also are, their big program with the DoD is the electronic medical record consolidation effort that's undergoing within the military. Our intelligence community provides strategic and technical intelligence capabilities. Can't talk too much about what they do. They don't even let me know too much, but they're very heavily invested in cyber, cloud, data analytics, and data modernization for our intelligence agencies. They support the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, NSA, and all those classified agencies that, they won't even tell you what the alphabet soup stands for. And then our last group is our civil group. And so the focus there is modernizing infrastructure, systems, and security. Once again, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cyber, cloud security, mission operations and logistics. So we kind of branch out of there a little bit. So our customers are the Department of Energy, the FAA. So almost all of the air control towers and their backbone systems are managed by Leidos. A lot of people don't know that. We support the Department of Justice and a lot of their back-end systems, the National Science Foundation, and this is where our corporate support to NASA comes in. And so we have several large contracts, NEST, which is the desktop services for all of NASA, Aegis,
Okay.
which is the new enterprise. So it's what's behind the desktops infrastructure. And then we have several larger contracts, the cargo mission contract. So anything and everything that goes up to the US segment on the International Space Station goes through our cargo mission contract. I'm very heavily involved with Human Health Performance contract, which is why I'm interested in ASGSR, which is all the taking care of our astronauts' health needs. And then we also are part of the integrated mission operations contract. So a lot of the non-civil servants who sit console and mission control are part of that contract. And then we're currently competing for the Films 2 contract out at the NASA Ames Research Center. So big company, but we do lots of different things, lots of really cool things. And I keep learning new things, every year as I go to our corporation meetings. So, it's fun and exciting.
Wow, that's a huge breadth of activity. I mean, I think you named like 8 different federal agencies in the process of that. You said that your specific involvement with ASGSR and kind of the focus on reduced and low gravity is your research is related to astronaut health. Can you expand upon that a little bit more?
So yes, so the contract, human health and performance contract, is kind of broken into 2 parts. We're teamed with KBR, who's also one of the sponsors there, ASGSR. They're very heavily involved in the medical day-to-day healthcare of the astronauts. The part that Leidos brings to the table is helping researchers from around the country fly their experiments on board the space station. So our job is to translate an experiment that a terrestrial researcher has come up with into something that can actually be performed in space. We help them adjust and fine tune their protocols. We train them on the different equipment that we have on board. We support when they're on orbit, we have a back room in mission control where we provide real-time support for them while they're doing it. All the baseline data collection before, during, and after their missions. And then the other thing that we do also on the contract, there are a lot of data repositories. So all the research data that NASA sponsors ends up someplace, and the research data ends up in Life Sciences Data Archive. And then there's an equivalent which has all the medical data in it. So we have to be sure to keep them separate. And so it's fascinating. I've been doing this for 42 plus years. It's why I keep coming to work every day. There's always something interesting and exciting going on, whether it's on bone research or vision research, some of the latest things that we're working on with crew members returning from long duration missions.
Wow, so you've covered a lot, over all those agencies, and then a lot just within NASA. I mean, several different programs, several different contracts that you're either working or pursuing. With all that, I'm learning a lot, but what is something the average person might not know about Leidos that would be kind of cool to share with them?
So with all the things that we do, we also run the Antarctic support contract in Antarctica. And so, which means anything and everything that goes to whether it's the McMurdo Station or the South Pole, kind of like our cargo mission contract, everything, food, fuel, money, medical care, diesel fuel, everything that goes onto the ice goes through that contract. And then kind of like we do on the human health performance contract, where we help the researchers. It's not our research necessarily, but we facilitate them being able to do their research when they're down on the ice in Antarctica. And I haven't had the opportunity to go, but several of my friends who are on that program have been down there several times, and it's literally like being on another planet. And so a lot of folks don't know that not only do we do research in space and support space research, but we also do it on the ground in very hazardous environments, such as Antarctica.
That's amazing. That's a good one. I would have never guessed you would pull out Antarctica as a little known fact. Now, you said that you've never been to Antarctica, but do you have any intentions of going? If you can you sneak in some space?
If I had the opportunity, I'd be on, hopefully not the slow boat that goes down with all the supplies, but on one of the planes. But no, I would go in a heartbeat if I had the opportunity.
All right. Okay. Well, that's good. Hey, you never know. I mean, Houston's going to be very temperate, so we'll have to see if we can figure out a colder climate for you for a future ASGSR conference.
Yeah.
But all right. So when you look at ASGSR, why is it important for Leidos to get involved with the organization, be a sponsor? What are you getting out of your participation with us?
So this is me speaking on behalf of the company. It says that to me, it's the biggest reason for supporting it is supporting our current and future researchers It's essential to keeping gravitational space research alive and well. If we don't keep growing the next generation of researchers and then allowing the current generation of researchers share the outcomes of their research, then that whole area of research in the space will dwindle over time. It also provides a great forum for ASGSR members to interact with each other, discuss and come to agreement, hopefully, on where they would like to see both ASGSR go in the future, as well as helping provide guidance to NASA where they think NASA should be investing dollars to help facilitate future research. So as a corporation, it's our bread and butter in space research, if you will. So, ASGSR is a natural place for us to help support.
Well, we sure appreciate the support. I mean, you guys have always been a longtime supporter and always really active at our meetings. So we want to thank you for that. When people come up to you at the conference, let's say you have students maybe looking for career opportunities, you have researchers that are doing all kinds of different research in different disciplines, you have fellow members of industry. What are the ways that you're looking to connect back with some of those groups of people?
So I'm not looking at connecting with anyone in particular, if you will, but it's my opportunity. So like I said, I've been doing this for 42 plus years. It's a great opportunity for me to reconnect with researchers that I haven't seen or talked to for a while. Some of them are very close personal friends, but these events like this are some of the few ways where I get to reconnect with them. But it's also reaching out and meeting those new researchers or those who want to become researchers in the future. So one of the benefits we get out of it is meeting those individuals and where we can connect them with either contracts that we run, because we're always looking for new hires to support other areas of Leidos, as well as the programs that we support for NASA. So we're always looking for the next generation of researchers. We're looking for the next generation of potential future employees. But the more we talk to the researchers and whatnot, the better off we understand the challenges and how we can adapt what we're doing to provide them even better support long term.
Excellent. Well, that sounds like an open invitation, right? For students, fellow
Absolutely.
researchers, anybody that wants to connect. So that's great. So in parting, is there anything else that we haven't covered that you think is important for people to know about your company?
So for Leidos, I think we've really covered the big parts of it. But the one thing that I would like to as part of the conference and part of why we support these things is really want to encourage the members who are attending the conference, take a little bit of time during the poster sessions. I think they're Friday and Saturday.
Correct.
That way you get to meet the new and current and future researchers. In particular, come out, I think, like I said, I think it's Friday and Saturday, interact with those students. They're dying to share what they're doing with other researchers and the support communities. And I'm actually going to be a judge this year. And I think at least one of my other employees who's going to be there, both think she's judging one day and I'm judging the next day.
Okay.
But I really encourage attendees, take that opportunity. A lot of times you go to a conference and go, oh, I think I'll go eat lunch now.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. You can eat lunch a little later. Come out and talk to these next generation of researchers.
That's a great point. And one of the things I find fascinating is, when I talk to people in the outside world, they go, wow, that's really a narrow niche, microgravity, reduced gravity research. And then you go into the poster session and you see the wide array of, you've got physical sciences,
Absolutely.
you've got biological sciences, combustion experiments, you've got vertebrae experiments. I mean, it's amazing, all the ground it covers. So that's a great point for invite people to cover those poster sessions and really engage with the students.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, this is a great chance to get to talk to you. And I encourage everyone to stop by the Leidos booth when they get to the conference. And Alan, can't wait to see you in Houston.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I will be there. I'll be hanging out at the booth quite a bit. And thanks again for letting us chat a little bit about Leidos and why we think ASGSR is so important.
Awesome. Let's make it happen. We'll be in Houston in November.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.